Turning happy customers into referral machines. That's next.
Welcome to the Grow Your Business Podcast. Actionable tips and advice on digital marketing, organized networking, and referral marketing to help grow your business. Hosted by award-winning RE/MAX agent, Bo Kaufman.
Hello, everybody. I'm really excited about this episode. I've been thinking about this one for a while, and it's turning happy customers into loyal fans and then eventually referral machines. And this is based on a 60-minute episode I saw a couple of years ago where they talked about a grocery chain who'd done a survey which showed that the cost of keeping a current customer is a small fraction of the cost of acquiring a new one. Maybe you've heard about this survey, but that's what this episode is based on. Realtors have known this for decades, and in fact, many have built their businesses almost entirely on referrals by past clients. Now, everything I talk about here is going to be based on one basic premise, that you provide an excellent service or sell an excellent product. For this to work, you really need to start with happy customers. If you do a shoddy job, I can save you some time right now. Nothing I say is going to help with that. So the first step is to simply ask for a referral at the right time. What's the right time? But when your customer is at their happiest. You've just shown them the fancy features on the new furnace or gone over the paint job that you did for them. They're happy and at their most agreeable state. That's a great time to ask for a referral. And make sure it's a referral, not a lead. I'll explain the difference in another episode. Now, maybe they'll give you a referral, maybe not. But they're happy, so you're happy. And you leave thinking that they'll send you business down the road, right? Well, maybe not. There was a study done a few years ago where they asked homeowners this question. The agent you used the last time to buy or sell your last home, would you use them again? And 80% said yes. Follow-up question was, what was that agent's name? Only 20% knew the answer. Now, buying and selling a house is arguably the most important financial step most people will ever make, yet only 20% remembered their agent's name. So if 80% don't remember their agent's name, do you really think they're going to remember you a year after the event just because you painted their house, shingled their roof, or sold them a car? They need to be reminded about you and your excellent service. Dozens, maybe hundreds of systems have been created to make it easier for real estate agents to stay in touch with past clients. But those systems don't need to be just for real estate agents. In fact, I would argue that in whatever industry you do, a system like that is even more effective. You see, if somebody buys a house, it's well known that their agent will probably send them a thank you card and maybe a Christmas card. Everybody expects that. But when was the last time you got a card from your furnace installer or your roofer or your landscaper or your life insurance agent? You see, in those industries, that's not a standard. And if you adopt that kind of a follow-up system, it'll make you stand out all the more. Probably one of the most effective ways of following up and staying in touch is actually voice-to-voice phone calls or even dropping by. But that's really not realistic. If you're a painter, you're going to call them in 6 months, and what are you going to say? Is the paint job still good? No. Voice-to-voice is a great idea, but it doesn't work for everybody. So what I'm talking about here is mailing systems. Mailing something on a regular basis, on a scheduled basis that helps you stay front of mind with your best clients. And here's a little side tip. Studies have shown that letters, which are sent in the standard number 10 envelopes, often receive the same level of attention and love associated with bills and notices because that's what most people get in those. So if you're going to send out personal touch items, try using postcard-sized envelopes, which have a much higher opening rate. And now on to developing a system. Now you can certainly develop your own, which is free. You take a spreadsheet, add your clients one at a time, name, address, phone number, postal code, that kind of thing. And then you can start mailing them. But after a while, that's going to become confusing, especially if you choose to send cards on off dates. For example, anniversaries or birth dates. And this is another valuable tidbit. Try and send cards when not everybody and their dog are sending cards. So everybody expects and gets Christmas cards and Easter cards. How about a national holiday for your industry? There must be a national car sales guy day or a national plumber day or something like that. That would be one. Or use off holidays like Canada Day when most people don't really send cards. That helps you stand out further. So as you add clients and people to your own database and spreadsheet, and you add their anniversary dates and stuff, it just becomes a little cumbersome to do all that. So I've recently been made aware of a system that's out there called Send Out Cards. It's not a new system, it's just new to me. And once I looked into it, I realized that it answers many of the kind of issues that we're faced here. For example, you can start this system with just one client and work up to an infinite number. You can add clients throughout the year as your business grows. You select the number of touch points per client. And their cards are sent as postcards. And the addresses look like they're handwritten. They're kind of in a script style. And they've got like faux postage stamps. So it's not a Hewlett-Packard postage meter thing. So it looks more like a stamp. Because of all these things, they're much more likely to get opened than a number 10 bill or an invoice or a notice. So we're going to have a quick call with a friend of mine who is an affiliate with Send Out Cards. His name is Ted Vilas. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not making a dime on this. It's a neat system and I wanted you to be aware of it. So I have a few questions to ask him in about 10 seconds.
You're listening to the Grow Your Business podcast with RE/MAX agent Bo Kaufman. Please take a moment to subscribe so that you won't miss any of the upcoming tips and advice.
All right, I'm here with Ted Vilas of Send Out Cards. And Ted, got a couple of questions for you. So let's assume I'm a house painter and I just finished painting somebody's house and they're very happy with my service. And I get the feeling that they would recommend me if only, I would stay in touch and given time, they would recommend me to their friends and family. Mm-hmm. So given that the Send Out Card system, how many touch points a year? What kind of system do you think I should put them on to start?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, Bo. So it's going to depend on the type of business that you have and, a little bit on the industry, but at least 2 or 3, I think, is going to be a really good point to start at least. So if you wanted to do something like holiday or New Year's cards, Christmas cards, as well as a birthday card, which is more personal for somebody. Okay. And sometimes in some industries you could do like a house anniversary on a home purchase or the anniversary of some service that you provided or something like that, which is fun.
Right.
Easter, if you want to spread it out throughout the year.
Okay.
So at least a few of those. And there's other reasons too, which are fun, but at least a few.
Okay, so if I set them up on let's say 4 or 5 cards a year system, what's my cost? What's my rough average cost for 5 cards throughout the year?
Yeah, so it depends what plan you're on. So you could start with a basic plan that doesn't have any recurring monthly costs where you pay the full price of the card, which is $275 plus postage US, or the unlimited plan, and that's sort of on the other end of the scale, which is what I use and a lot of people who are using a lot of heartfelt cards. That's $97 US a month for completely unlimited cards, including postage. So it just depends how much you're sending in that sense.
Right. So you can start off at one level, and then as you get more popular, as you add, maybe you can even add past clients into the system and start sending them cards on a regular basis. And that $97 covers unlimited cards.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few other plans that are good to look at, but it depends how much you're sending, how many individual or heartfelt cards, which is the customized cards you're sending to people, or group send. So if you're sending big batches, for example, like Christmas cards or Easter cards, it depends what type of card you plan to send, and you can look at different plans. But you can look at those at easyheartfeltcards.com. And so it just depends how you're trying to use it, but there's a few different ways you can customize it for your business.
Yeah, I've been searching around the system, so if I understand it right, I can actually start, if I'm going to start off fresh, I can start with just 1 or 2 clients. I don't have to have a database of 100 people to get started with this, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and that's where the basic plan is great, just to get started. See what it looks like. Send yourself a card even if you want. There's no recurring cost. You just pay for the one card, and if you don't use it for another 6 months, then you can send yourself another, or send a card again whenever you need it. So there's no setup cost or maintenance cost.
Okay, and then as my business grows, I can add one client at a time throughout the year at any time. There's no sign up limit or no dates. I can just add them whenever I get them.
Right. Yeah. So on the plans, there is the relationship manager, which is pretty well built. I think you can import a CSV file which it predicts all the fields, so it makes it super easy to do that. You can categorize people in different folders and set dates for it to remind you when you need to send. So yeah, there's a few really cool features on the relationship manager, and there's no there's no upper limit on that and the people you can fill it with. So.
Okay, so maybe last question here is if I get into this system and I use it for a few years and then at one point I decide to stop, can I download the client database? Do I own those information that I put in?
Yeah, great question for sure. So you can download your database anytime. It is a good idea to have a different CRM, again, depending on your business. I always have a separate CRM where I track, the different clients that I'm working with in addition to send out cards. But yes, then I'll download that and then make sure everything is synchronized nicely.
Cool. So you can serve actually clients all over North America. So if somebody's listening to this from Kentucky, whatever, they'll probably have their own rep in their area. But if they don't, they can sign up to the URL for you is what? Yeah,
definitely. So easyheartfeltcards.com is my link there. And anywhere that can send mail essentially is where you can use it from. So there's no limit in that sense on where you can sign up from. So check that out. And then, the unlimited plan, going back to that, it sends to anywhere in the world, which includes the postage cost. So very much a system to make the world a smaller, more connected place.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's all we got for today. Yeah. So thank you very much, Ted, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Bo. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye. So that was Ted Vilas. We're going to have the link to his website in our show notes below. It's easyheartfeltcards.com. But like I said, the link is down in the show notes. So we're about 11, almost 12 minutes into the show. And if you're still here, it's one of two reasons. Number one is you found some useful information, or number two is you fell asleep. If you found it useful, please take a second to subscribe to whatever podcatcher you're listening to. If you're listening to it on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, first share it with somebody who you feel is going to benefit from it. And then also look at the notes below this player and subscribe. There's a page there where you can subscribe to about a dozen different podcatchers. And if you did fall asleep, let me help you the only way I can.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Grow Your Business with Bo Kaufman of RE/MAX in Winnipeg. Please subscribe to the podcast, and if you're looking to buy or sell a house or condo in Winnipeg, call or text Bo at 204-333-2202 because Bo knows real estate.